We are going to go over what a function is. A function is a relationship involving two variables where for every independent variable, the x value, there is exactly one dependent variable, the y value. So really what it is saying is every x value has only one y value, but y can have multiple x values. What I use to think of functions is the idea of birthdays. If you think of the x value being the person and the y value being the date of the birthday, each person can have only one birthday, but if you think about the date, that date of the birthday can have multiple people that have the same birthday. So that is a real life example of what a function would be. The best way to tell if a relationship has a function or not is to make sure that for every x there is only one y value. So if you have the same x value have multiple y values, then that relationship is not a function. Let's take a look at some examples. So determine if the following relationships are functions. So let's look at the first one, question A. So my x values are 3, 2, and 1. And each of those are different x values, so this is a function. Because every x value has one y value. Now, if we look at B, my x values are 1, 0, and 1. Now, the problem here is that I have two of the same x values that are going to different y values. Because x can have only one y value, but in this case there are two, this would not be a function. There's one other way to tell if something is a function or not, and that is if you have a visual graph of a function, you can do what's called the vertical line test. The vertical line test is a visual way to determine if a graph is a function or not. To check if the graph is a function, what you do is you draw a vertical line, and if that line crosses the graph in more than one place, the graph is not a function. So let's take a look at some examples. So let's look at this first graph. If I were to draw a vertical line anywhere on this graph, it is only going to cross in one spot. So because the vertical line is only crossing in one spot, this would be a function. Now let's take a look at the second graph. If I draw a vertical line here, it's not crossing, or it's crossing in just one spot. But if I draw a vertical line here, it's crossing in two spots. So that's more than one spot anywhere on the function, so this would be not a function. And if we take a look at this last one, I can draw a vertical line here and it's going to cross in more than one spot, so that one would not be a function. The reason the vertical line test works is because every x value can have only one y value. But y can have multiple x's. So if your x crosses, your one x value represents the vertical line. If the x crosses in more than one spot, that's a violation of what a function is. So that is the vertical line test and how to tell if a graph is a function or not.